You know what time it is? Time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper, with Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Cooper, from Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Big shout outs to everyone that's listening on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, wherever you're listening to. Big shout outs to you. If you want to catch the video version of this show, make sure you go to my website to catch full episodes at thebigscoopwithcoop.com. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/thebigscoopwithcoop. You can also catch a 15-minute preview of this episode right here on Instagram at Big Scoop with Coop. All right, people, enough about me. Today's guest, she is knocking down doors in the entertainment industry. She is actually doing things from the television industry all the way up into Netflix. That's right, she has something new that's coming out, and it's out right now. It's called She the People on Netflix. Make sure you do check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the one and only Nia Palmer. Now, Nia has worked on shows like The Game, Samantha Who, Run the World, and now once again, like I said, she's doing She the People. So we're going to talk about Nia. We're going to actually kick it with her, talk about her career, She the People, Run the Show, The Game, Samantha Who, and more. So sit back and relax and enjoy this episode of the Big Scoop with Coop with Nia Palmer. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. How's your day going so far?
It's going great. The show premiered today. So,
yes.
Right? I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
That's what I'm saying. That's big things. I mean, you just kick down Netflix door and say, guess what? Scoot over. I'm coming in. This is my new home. In.
That's right. Scooch over. Let me in.
Dang right. And guess what? I got a feeling in the future you'll be bringing more furniture into Netflix.
I think I will. Think I will. You're a mind reader.
You heard it. You heard it.
You're first.
Nia, now you've done a lot of things in your career, and the great part is your career is nowhere close to being over. But let's start from the beginning. When did you first realize that you wanted to get into the entertainment industry?
I read a Jackie Collins novel when I was like 11. It was my grandmother's. It was called like Lady Boss. And it was insane. It was dangerous. It was glossy. It was impressive. It was I was like, that's where I'm going. I'm going to Hollywood. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. So I've known for a very long time that Hollywood was calling to me.
And you know what, Nia, I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter what age you are. If it hits you in your heart and it hits you in your mind, you're going to feel it pulling at your gut. And it's going to pull at your heart. And you can go and try to sidetrack it all you want. Guess what? You will get drawn right back in.
Right back to it. Right. Absolutely. That's right. Absolutely.
And you're kicking down doors. I mean, that's
I love that. Thank you.
Yes. Now, Nia, did you have any mentors to help you out during your process from the beginning up to now?
No, not from the beginning. And I think the further I got into the business, there were people that popped up. But initially, no, there aren't any mentors. And I think it's because it's such a challenging gig. It's such a challenging industry that nobody really wants to invest in someone who may not stay the course. So they say you can get your first job, but what about the second and the third? And I don't know if you've heard this about Hollywood before, but it's not about breaking in. What's really difficult is staying in. Right?
That's deep right there. That's deep.
That's something.
and that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, that's watching worldwide right now. I want to add on to what she just said. Now, the people that's trying to get into Hollywood, I'm going to let you know you have to have thick skin also because, Nia, stop me if I'm lying. 100 no's can equal one yes in this industry.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And the thing is, if you get deranged or you get to the point where you get distressed and depressed because you heard no 2 or 3 times, I get out the industry.
You hear no all the time. All the time. You're really shocked when you hear yes.
Yes.
So you can't have, thin skin.
That's so true. So ladies and gentlemen worldwide, if you're trying to get into this industry,
right,
you better come in, put on another coat, put on layers of skin.
That's right.
What you have to do because you never know. Nia could be through all those layers of skin waiting for you to get to her. But if you
Right?
get deterred on one no, you probably will never see Naya. You better get to her.
Tell them, Coop. Tell them.
I'm telling them they
Thank
better
you.
listen. They better listen.
Good
Yes.
stuff.
Now, Naya, you know you've done another thing that I want to talk about also, and let's talk about it real quick. That's the ABC,
Yes.
Disney, and the WB Fellowship Program.
Yes.
Now, how
Yes.
excited were you to enter into that program and to make it through?
Oh my God, you know, I mean, ABC Disney was the number one. But so before I got into Disney, I got into Warner Brothers. I mean, I was thrilled. You know, it's such a tough business. So to get in, we talked about not having mentors initially. So, you know, those are the types of programs you look for. Because if you can't find a mentor, a person to mentor you, you want a company, a corporation on your side. So those were phenomenal. That, you know, and the Disney, Warner Brothers was great. Disney paid you. They paid me, and I didn't. That was my job, and it was phenomenal. They actually put me in a writer's room. Samantha, who was my first show, and that kind of just started my career. It was phenomenal.
Now, you know what, Naya? There's the thing about that. So, a lot of people, there's a big fan following for Samantha Who. And a
Yes.
lot of people were mad that Samantha Who just basically disappeared.
It
So,
was the strike. You know, I think
yep.
that, you know, the strike happened. I think that there would have been more seasons, but you know, I mean, we're seeing now after the most recent strike, all the shows that were canned. So I think it's just a consequence of the strike,
You,
unfortunately.
you're right. So this is what I want to say for everybody that's listening right now worldwide, all the TV executives and everything. I want to change the name of Samantha Who. Let's make it Samantha Who is going to bring this show back on the television because Naya
Right.
probably would step back in, especially.
Right? Why not?
That's right. Hey, Netflix knocking on your door.
Right?
Why
Right?
not? You,
Why
you,
not? But
you got
I
the
think, you know, I didn't, you know, have anything to do with running that show. So
right.
I'm, you know, but I'm more interested in my own original material being on Netflix. You know, that's, but
Mm-mm.
yay for Samantha Who. Yay. They had their time.
That's true.
Uh, you
But
know,
I
it
think you
was,
dropping
yeah.
gems. I'm reading between the lines here, Naya. So, is there something that we need to know? No, I'm gonna ask that later on. Nope, don't even spoil that
Okay.
right now. I'm
Okay.
not gonna even go there. Now, a lot of people probably don't understand what the fellowship program really is. You just told what you do. So
Mhm.
basically, how hard is it to make it through? I mean, the average person to make it
To
through a
get in
fellowship
there,
program. Yes, to get in and complete.
I don't think it's difficult to complete. You know, I don't think. I think it's just difficult to get into it, to gain access into the program. I think the first time I might have submitted twice and been rejected twice, and then the third, I can't remember if it was two or three times, but I know the first time I was definitely rejected, but it eventually worked out. But yeah, but it's the best, right? So I kept knocking on the door.
The fellowship program is something that's so big where
Mhm.
if you can't get your foot in the industry, that's
Mhm.
the way to go right there.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yes,
Absolutely. I agree with you.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about this also now because we talked about these shows a while ago that you worked on. So,
Mhm.
how excited were you to work for or staff for the shows like The Game, Samantha Who, Run the World? How excited were you when you knew you was in there?
I was over the moon. I was thrilled. Probably as excited as you would be if you were staffed on the show. So you know what that feels like. And like I said, it's not just you know, you have to keep getting jobs. That's the thing. That's what makes it so exhausting. You have to keep pulling a rabbit out of a hat. So every job I've ever had in this business, I've been incredibly grateful to have. So over the moon for each offer that comes in.
So how was it behind the scenes when the camera wasn't rolling for just those three shows right there? How was the cast and crew?
Fun. I mean, you know, it's comedy. So we have a good time, you know, and so I love it. It's a good time. You just sit around at a conference table all day with 8 to 10 people and you talk about life and you come up with story ideas and it's a really good time, legitimately so.
So do you feel like it's stressful at times? So I know it's a good time because you're in the industry
No,
where you're at.
no, no. I
Wow.
don't think it's stressful. I don't feel I mean, there are so many other jobs in this world that we could be doing that are really, really challenging, physically exhausting. But so no, I never felt like, ugh, not, I mean, it's stressful in terms of this is my job and like I have a deadline, but it's not really life or death. So,
And you're right about it, Naya. And I think a lot of people knows whenever they get their foot into the entertainment industry, you don't want to step out of it
right.
because there's somebody that's standing in line waiting to
Waiting
take your spot
to take your
at
spot.
any
Right.
time.
Absolutely.
And Naya, you've been in the industry for a minute, and I know you've seen the people that's hungry. They came in, and some
Yeah,
couldn't last long, and some are still here today.
that's right.
And I think it's all about your drive
I think
on
so
what you're
too.
doing. That's what I feel.
Your hustle, your ability to play well with others, your ingenuity, your relationships with other people who likes you. Sometimes you get jobs because who doesn't like you? Oh, good, we don't like the same person. Great, high five. When can you start? So life, right?
You're
You don't
speaking
like
the truth.
either. I'm gonna hire you.
And the thing is, you're speaking the truth, Naya. That's
Right.
how it goes sometimes
That's how
in
it
the
goes
industry.
sometimes. Right.
Yes, the enemy of my enemy is your friend,
Right.
and that's what it is. Because
Right.
let's be real, Naya. Because we ain't gonna name no names on this show,
No, we're
but
not.
no, we're not. But we've seen people get stabbed because you treated a producer wrong or an
Right.
executive wrong, and the next person that you didn't like came in just because of what you did at a dinner date or what you
Right.
said to
Or
another
what they
person you didn't
heard
know.
or X, Y, or Z.
Yes.
I always say, the world is a very small town. That's basically what
Ooh.
it is. So you should be really nice. And I've also heard for years that, if you can, you should try not to hate people that in the business because all the people you hate will do really, really well. So, right? So try not to hate anyone,
Mhm.
so just some
No,
advice.
you're speaking the truth right there, Naya, because a lot of people don't know. They think as soon as you get into business, you have to climb on top of people's heads and,
Mm-mm.
and stump everybody in the ground. And it's not like that,
It's
man.
not like that at all.
No,
No,
networking relationships. That's
that's
what
what
it's
it
all
is.
about. That's
That's what it
all
is.
it's about. Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, let's talk about it now. She the People, man. This came out today on Netflix.
Yes.
Before we go there, ladies and gentlemen watching worldwide, if you have not seen it already, go to Netflix, watch She the
Yeah.
People. Not right now, because you're watching this interview. After
Right.
the interview, go to Netflix, go
Please.
watch She the People, and trust me, you will be surprised at what you see. It's an all-star cast. And
Yep.
you want to make sure you catch this. This is something that's gonna bring Netflix numbers up, and it's gonna bring Naya up and everybody in the
Mm.
show up
From
also.
your lips to God's ears. I
There
like
you
what you're
go.
saying, Coop. I
Exactly.
like what you're saying.
Yes, yes. So make sure you check it out this evening. No excuses. I don't care what your favorite show coming on TV. Guess
That's
what?
right.
DVR it. Do whatever
Yeah.
you have to do. Watch Sheet of People
Watch it and
tonight.
finish it. It's about your completion rate. It's not just about tuning in and then, drifting off and going to do something else. Finish it. So that counts.
I ain't had to say it, people. Naya told you right there.
Right?
I ain't had to say
Right.
nothing
Finish
about
it.
that. Exactly. Now, tell everybody that's wondering what Sheet of People is about. Tell us about the show.
Okay, it's about a woman named Antoinette Dunkerson who runs for lieutenant governor. It's called a split administration. So that's when you can have perhaps the governor is a Republican and the lieutenant governor is a Democrat, and she wins. And she works for a condescending, sexist boss, and she's a recent divorcee. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a cousin. She's just trying to figure it all out. She's trying to do the best she can, and it's challenging. So she's just a flawed woman, and we have a peek into her life. It's just very relatable stuff, I think.
Mhm. That's so true. Now, I've started it, so I didn't get a
Good.
chance to finish it yet.
Okay.
But guess
Okay.
what? I'm one of the people you was talking about. You told me to complete it. I'm completing it myself this
Okay.
evening. That's got to
Wonderful. I
happen.
love that.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
Coop.
that's
Thank
got to
you.
happen. Yes. Now, how excited were you when you found out Netflix wanted to pick up Sheet of People?
Oh my goodness. I mean, well, I knew that I partnered with Tyler Perry, and he had an overall at Netflix. So, I kind of knew that Tyler had this opportunity. So, but nevertheless, overjoyed. A lot of, there are a number of writers. You can spend decades writing on other people's shows and not necessarily get your own show. So I feel so grateful and blessed.
That's a sign right there, Naya. You're staying humble through this whole situation. Certain people will do cartwheels, brag, do everything, but look at you. You're staying humble, and you know this is a hit show.
Well, you know how, I don't want to fall on my face. And then, you know how life goes.
Yes.
You be sticking your tongue out and then you trip. So I'm going to just stay blessed and grateful.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, how was it working with these big names? Terry J. Vaughn, Joe Marie Payton, also Keisha Lance Bottoms,
she's
the
great.
former Atlanta mayor.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was great working with all of them. Everybody brought something significant to the group. Keisha was great because she was able to help us keep one foot in real world governance, because it is a comedy, so we can get kind of silly with it. But she would kind of review the drafts and be like, no, that's not how that works. And that's what we wanted her for. Like, but it's funny, Keisha. No, that's not how it goes. Okay. But Joe Marie's a veteran. Terry's she's another vet. I mean, it was just like I say, it was like a family reunion. It was just really fun. Every day was really fun.
Wow. And ladies and gentlemen worldwide, I'm going to speak it in the air right now. She just said it's like a family reunion. Could it be something futuristic? Could be a title or something that she could bring. You never know. You never know.
You're right.
Hey, I'm telling you, you're doing big things, Naya. I can't stop giving you your props on this, because
thank you, Coop.
Netflix is basically the new way to go for television. And that's nothing new. That's no new information. It's been like this for a minute.
Right.
And when you get your foot there, once again, you don't want to leave it. So that's why I said at the beginning of the show, people, maybe she's going to be bringing some furniture that's coming. You don't know what else she's
Fingers crossed. Let's see what we can do.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, let me ask you, Naya, are there any other projects that you're working on right now that you want the world to know about?
I have a romantic comedy I'm working on, and I also have which is a feature, and I also have a grief comedy that it's a TV series. And I know that kind of sounds like it doesn't go together, but it does. I mean, I think that, grief is so transformative, and you get to see sides of people that you've never seen, and there's a lot of humor in it, if you can find the funny. So that's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
you know what? I'm going to be looking for it. Maybe she'll do some future casting. I might go for it myself. Huh?
Hey, you're welcome to audition. I love that.
Ooh, I might have to do that. I might take you up on that one. Please. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Naya, what's the best way for everyone to follow you on social media?
Just at my IG, which is Naya Palmer Trusty. Come on in.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, watch worldwide. Make sure you follow her on social media. You never know. She may announce what she's going to do next on social media, on her own page. You never know. Follow her for the latest and greatest, because that's one thing you do not want to miss. Whatever Naya's about to post, trust me, something big is about to happen. It's definitely about to happen. Now, Naya, let's talk about it real quick. One more thing before we hit the last segment of the show. Okay. If there was a show that you could bring back from the past, and you can actually remaster it, rework it to bring it to current times, what show would that be?
Coop, you should have given me this ahead of time.
I had to surprise you on that one.
No, you're sick.
I know. That's how I am.
Why do y'all do this?
We have to. Got to catch you off guard at least.
And now the punishment is I don't have an answer. Ha ha. How you like that? Now you don't have an answer. Those gotcha questions. Take that.
Ladies and gentlemen, she just slapped me in the face. I won't. She just slapped me in the face with that one. Oh, man. But you know what, Naya? If I see a show from the past come back and you're working it,
you're going to tag me.
I sure am. Because we're going to have a talk here. I asked you months and years ago about this, and look at you. And now you've done it.
I do think I could do I do think, Laverne and Shirley. I do think,
wow.
Might call it Keisha and Nikki. I don't know.
No, that will work.
I do think there's, something about female friendship and figuring life out together. But that's just.
Wow. I think you're on to something right there, Naya. You are, because think about it. The sitcoms of the 90s and before has all died and disappeared.
Yeah.
And
it'd be brand new to everybody, wouldn't it?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think someone needs to bring it back, like A Different World.
Right. Well, I heard that A Different World is coming back
I
through
heard it,
Netflix.
but
Did you hear
is
that?
it true?
I don't. I think so. I think so.
Wow. I
Right.
thought that was a rumor. So,
Maybe you should go work at Netflix, Coop.
hey, Netflix, hire me.
Right.
I'm
Right.
right here.
Great minds think alike.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But that's what I'm saying. I think some of these sitcoms do need to come back once again,
Right.
because I know you remember this, Naya. Back in the '90s, back in the '80s,
Mhm.
there was a time where you was ready to sit down on Thursday night to watch the Cosby Show. There was
Yeah.
times you were ready to sit down on Monday. You could see A Different World. You could see all these shows, and
Yeah.
you knew 30-minute block do not bother
Yeah.
me.
227 Miami
227,
Vice. Like
yes.
it was a good run.
Yes. And
Appointment
that's the
television.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And even though they tried to rework something like A-Team, I'm just naming random things off the top of my
Hmm.
head. I know they came out in the 80s. They tried it, but I think if you had the right person to
Hmm.
write the right sitcom, hint, hint, Naya, I think something big would drop on this. I really do.
And I hear what you're saying, but I think that we have to allow new people, new writers to create their own series, right? Because
Mhm.
why should we give the people who've already become multimillionaires more money? You know, and I appreciate what they've already created, but let's let some new blood come in and let's see what they've got. See, that's what I say, but I do appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I think you could whisper into some of these new bloods' ear.
Right, right. It's
And
possible, right?
yes, I
Okay.
think that could happen. So I
Okay.
think Tyler Perry, if you're listening to this episode right now, I think you and Naya need to work something out on this one.
Hey,
You
let them
do.
know.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, Naya, it's time for the last segment of the show. It's called Take the Floor. Now, you have up to 2 minutes to say whatever you want. No
Okay.
questions asked. Naya Palmer, take the floor.
Oh goodness. I think we need more. I don't really have anything prepared, but I am one that adopts and rescues dogs and fosters, and I think that we need to start adopting more dogs, and we need to be realistic about our limitations. You know what I mean? If you don't work from home and you have a dog, and then I just don't like the fact that so many around COVID, so many people adopted the dogs, and then when they had to go back to work, all these dogs are without homes now. So, do you have a dog, Coop?
I do. I do.
Just one?
Just one.
Huh.
And I don't want no more. I'm not gonna lie. And
Why?
no,
Is it a
okay.
big dog?
No, it's not even a big dog. It's a palm. So
Okay.
my wife has a
Okay.
Pomeranian,
Okay.
and there's 3 kids in the house plus the,
Oh, okay.
and I'm like this.
Okay, one dog. That makes sense.
Yeah,
One dog. I
yeah,
know.
just one for right now.
Okay.
Yes, but I will say this:
Hmm.
never say never.
Right? Well, you can also foster.
That's true.
You know,
That's
you
true.
don't have, just sometimes it takes a week or 2 weeks until they can get the dog to the next family. So
Mhm.
just think about that.
No, I will think about that.
Think about
That's
it. Just
definitely.
helping out just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mind that though. That's something to think about right there.
Right? Just help out. Just do your part just a little bit.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back. I had Cujo for a week and, just, we're all doing our part.
She ain't, ladies and gentlemen, she ain't give me Lassie. She gave me Cujo.
Cujo.
What?
Only for a week though. So don't worry. It's not
Oh
permanent.
my goodness. Okay, I hope my palm can survive Cujo for 1 week.
Right. You can separate.
Mm. Oh boy. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, make sure you go watch Sheeta People. If you have not seen these other shows like The Game, Samantha Who, Run the World, Naya had her hands on it. Go watch those shows, but you need to watch Sheeta People first. I'm kind of hating on the
Absolutely.
other shows right now.
Absolutely.
Yes, you got to go watch that. Follow her on social media. You don't know what she's going to do next. And ladies and
I
gentlemen,
don't
it's trying
either.
to exactly. See, she going on top of her head right now. She don't even know what she will do next. But I guarantee something big is coming. I
Yep.
guarantee that. You heard it from Coop
I'll take
first.
that. I'll take that, Coop.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, once to get into the business also, make sure you do try to get into the ABC Disney Fellowship Program. Does the WB still do theirs?
I read that, and I don't know if they changed this. I read a couple years ago that they had lost the financing. They were downsizing, but maybe it's changed. Don't quote me. So maybe I don't know, but
Okay. Well, ladies and
check it
gentlemen,
out.
Google is your best friend. Google it to see if it's actually still going on. If it is, if you're trying to work with Naya, That's one of the ways to get into the door. You never know what's going to happen down the line. That's what I'm talking about. Naya, I enjoyed you being on the show, and I would love to have you back on in the future.
Absolutely. I'd love to come back. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're so welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest on the Big Scoop with Coop is, you know, that's my next guest. You better follow me on social media at the Big Scoop with Coop to find out the latest and greatest of who's coming on next. That's right, people. Until the next time on the Big Scoop with Coop. Peace.
Bye, Coop.